All right. Hi, guys. You can't miss that, right? We're always searching for this animal, the hippopotamus. No, we call it the hypotenuse, not hippopotamus. That's what my former student said. Okay, just to remember it. We want to know how long are you? That's the objective for today. And we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Are you ready? Here we go. So before anything else, let's have a quick review. This is a right triangle. Yes, we know that. We want to find a relationship among the legs and the hypotenuse. Okay, let's look at the parts. The legs are the 3 and 4, right? We call them the altitude or the base, but that could interchange. The A and the B could interchange. They're the ones forming the 90 degrees. The hypotenuse is the longest side. Okay, we call that the letter C. And we remembered from the previous lesson, we always, okay, square each of it first. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And remember, here is the 90 degrees. Now, let's try to solve a problem by modeling. Okay. Find the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle with a 12-inch leg and a 9-inch leg. So there was a drawing given for you. The leg is already a 12 and the other leg is 9. Obviously, the longest side is missing. First thing to do is always write down your formula. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Okay, you could reverse the equality. One from the left and one on the right, you could interchange that. Okay, it doesn't matter. So since we don't know C, just leave it as C. We know our A is 12, so I write 12 squared. B is 9, so I write 9 squared. We're good so far, right? 12 times 12 is 144. 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, write C squared over there. Now, C squared is equal to, let's add it up. 8, 4 plus 1 is a 5. 8, 12, carry 1, 225. Okay, so this is how you remove the square. How do you get rid of the square? Put a square root on the left, yo. Square root on the right, yo. That cancels out. So what happens? C is equal to the square root of 225. Some teachers will allow you to leave it like that. Okay, some teachers will allow you to estimate between what number or what number. But this happens to be a perfect square. If you get your calculator, 225 square root, you will get 15. Because 15 times 15 is 225. So the hypotenuse is 15. All right. Another problem, home is 8 miles west side of the church. So there's a church, west side goes there, draw 8 miles. Good. And the school is 6 miles south of the church. This is the church, south goes down, draw 6 miles. Okay. And label it as a school, the other one as home. How far away is the home from the school? Home from school, okay, without passing through the regular streets, just the diagonal. You call that the diagonal, okay? So what does diagonal look like? It looks like the, yes, the hypotenuse, because that's the right triangle, so that is C. So you will be my A or my B. Okay, again, always start with writing the formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Then substitute or plug it in. The A is 8 squared, the B is 6 squared. Okay, so bring down C squared. 8 times 8 is 64. 6 times 6 is 36. C squared. C squared is equal to 100. Again, how do I get rid of the square? Square root to the left, square root to the right. That cancels out. Therefore, the C is now alone. We're good because, it's a perfect square. So that's going to be a 10. So 10 what? 10 miles is the answer. Okay, for the next problem, I could say that firemen should know the Pythagorean theorem. If you're the fireman, you want to know how long the ladder would be. If you know the distance here is 4 feet and the distance there is 20 feet, you could see the right triangle, right? Okay, so if that's the right triangle, definitely you could be the A, you could be the B, those are the legs, and the longest side, the ladder. The ladder is the C. Again, write down your formula. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So plug it in, substitute. You're going to have 20 squared plus 4 squared. 20 times 20 is 400. 4 times 4 is 16, right? C squared, C squared. Just follow your formula step by step. 416, okay, you can use your calculator. Oh, not yet. You got a square root on the left, square root on the right. That cancels out. C is equal to square root of 416. You could leave it that way, or you might want to use your calculator. 416 square root will give you, it's going to be a long number, 20.39607 dot. Depending on the teacher's instruction, just round it. Let's say round to the nearest tens. So I'm going to use 20.3. All right, feet. Okay. Next, let's try this ingenuity problem. Carlos found out that the length of the diagonal of the laptop monitor, this is the laptop, okay, the diagonal is here. That's what you call diagonal. The length is square root of 290. If the manufacturer rounds to the nearest whole inch, what is the size of the monitor measured of the diagonal? Okay, so let's get the square root of 290. Okay, so simply plug it in your calculator and you get 290. Square root is 17. It's a long number. 17.029386 dot. Nearest whole inch. So nearest that, it's 17. No need to use the formula because you already know the hypotenuse. Next, Isaiah is jogging near his college. He runs along Capitol Street. He runs here. And that's 0.75 miles. And east along H Street, this is 1.2 miles. Okay? Then he turns left along Florida Avenue until he reaches the starting point. How long is his total run? Total run to the nearest hundreds. Okay, let's solve this. So we already know the run for Capitol is 0.75. The run in H Street is 1.2. Okay. We don't know the Florida Avenue. Okay, let's write it down. C squared. Definitely that's the C. That's the one across the 90 degrees and the longest side. A squared plus B squared. That's going to be 0.75 squared plus 1.2 squared. Get your calculator. 0.75 squared gives me 0.5625 plus 1.2 squared is 1.44. Let's add them up. 1.44 plus 0.5625, you will get 2.0054. That's C squared, okay? Nearest hundreds, they said. So the hundreds is over here. That will affect that. So, oh, not yet. We forgot to square root. Square root to the left, square root to the right. C is equal to, the square root of that would be 1.41509. It never ends. I could round it as 1.42, right? Because it has 2 decimal places. It ends there. Okay, but is that in the choice? No, not yet, because we want to know the total run. So what do? 1.4042 plus 0.75 plus 1.2. Okay, add them up. 1.42 plus 0.75 plus 1.2 gives me 3.56. 37. So that is your answer, 3.37 miles all around. What is the length of the hypotenuse in a right triangle? Okay, that's a right triangle with a length of 14. Let's put you 14 and you're a 48. And the hypotenuse is missing. That's your C. Okay, formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Substitute any of those numbers. 14 squared plus 48 squared. 14 squared is 196. 48 squared is 2304. Okay, add them up. 2,500. The problem here is some kids will stop here at 2,500. Not yet, because that's not yet the square root. You'll have to get the square root so that C will be alone. Okay, and the square root of 2,500 is an easy 50. All right, so the answer is 50. Okay, so that's it, guys. Remember, results is equal to action plus motivation. Good luck in your practice.